ready? This is Senpai. Stamps. This is how I met my cute older nerd who yearns for me and whose personality kind of resembles Seth Cohen's. Well, for starters, I think my personality would resemble Seth Cohen's, or more like Daria's, apparently, according to my comment section for many years. Very dark, very dry sense of humor. I say awful things in very serious situations. I just test the boundaries because it's fun. Why not? We're on a floating rock. Many people don't get it, and that is okay. You know, you're not for everybody, just like I'm not for every single man out there. I'm like a cat. I'm like kind of clingy, but not at the same time. I love my own space. I need my own space. I went to Japan by myself. Gone, okay? The fact that I went to Japan by myself, the fact that I sit and eat places by myself, the fact that I just talk to strangers around me, that is like a power move. That is such a skill. And I'm attracted to other people who can also do that skill. I'm attracted to very independent men, you know what I mean? So basically, only children. There was no filter for only children on Hinge, which is where I met my fiance. But you know what was? Okay, education, age, there's also race filters, which is kind of problematic on Hinge, you know? I didn't set that, because that's not right. You know, I believe in fine in every color, okay? I thought my husband at first was gonna be Japanese. I said, konnichiwa, but that didn't happen. I was like, okay. And then I thought, anyway, the point is that I set some filters. I said, okay, age, 35 to 99, I'm just playing. I went 35 to 40. I am 28. This channel is for the girls who get it, okay? If you don't get it, that is fine. Block me. So basically, I said, God, give me a slightly older, like 8 to 10 years older than me, check, okay? Slightly jaded, check. Genius man, check. Who preferably is from, you know, some nice area of New York City, check, okay? I didn't want a man from California. I'm sorry, again, this channel's for the girls. If you're a man from California and you found this video, I'm sorry. Y'all don't have work ethic. You don't, you know? These guys, these people in general from New York, they wake up, like they come out of the womb with a credit score, like perfect credit score. They're ready to go to work, okay? They're these little like corporate minions. They wake up and they start calculating. Like my first job, I quit so many jobs just because the sun was out, honestly. I was like, it's a nice day and I quit my job. What was my first job? I think I was teaching gymnastics, but my first actual job, you know, where I was getting a paycheck through direct deposit, I think was American Apparel. And I just quit because I was like, oh, that was nice, that was for the plot. New Yorkers, they wake up ready and they stay ready. So I said, for my children, I need that type of father figure. I am the comic relief. I am the beauty. I am the serenity that you feel. I am the unserious one, okay? And I said, I need a serious man. Other things I looked for. I wasn't looking for someone stereotypically hot, okay? My man is very, very, very handsome, very classically handsome. He looks like a Ralph Lauren. You know, we always joke and say old money. He actually does. He's like resembling that, but he doesn't know it. We all can dream. So most people, according to TikTok at least, dream of having this Pilates princess lifestyle and drinking green juice. They're like, oh, I want to have my dream man who lets me wear pink little sets. And no, mine is Edgewater Mitsuwa. I want a Japanese car, okay? I want something sturdy. Okay, we have a Lexus and I have a Mini Cooper. I want, you know, an old sturdy Lexus SUV. I want, you know, little Kelly stamp in the back or whatever, Young stamp, Kelly envelope, whatever his name's gonna be. In the back, we're gonna go to Mitsuwa and we're gonna go get some mirin, sake, okay? We need some Shaoxing wine. We're gonna be, you know, thriving. To me, you know, some people have designer this, designer that, the luxury. For me, luxury is like knowing how to make different types of onigiri. As for him, he was actually seeking his, you know, equal too. People meet their equal almost every time. Men will date down. They will date down income-wise, you know, whatever, but you know what I'm saying? But anyway, why would you want to be with someone who's like so diametrically opposed to you? You know, your beliefs or your upbringing, whatever it is. Some people, you know, family is a big one. For me, you know, I don't have siblings, so I didn't really have a big family or big emphasis on family growing up. You know, my mom and dad were together and then they were divorced later on, but they were kind of together longer just to kind of raise me, you know. So for me, it's not imperative to have dinner, you know, every Friday night or see, you know, in-laws, for example, or whatever. And I needed someone who understood, okay, this is the expectation that I have. So again, only children, clutch. I was looking for that on Hinge. I actually said looking for an only child who's nerdy. So enough about things I was looking for on profiles and whatnot. I wanted a cute nerd, that's it. Who doesn't know that he's cute. Okay, he needs to be aware that he's attractive, but he doesn't need to know, you know what I mean? They get cocky. And then when they bag a cute girl, they act all different. Anyway, so the story of how we actually met. Again, it's not that interesting because it just kind of happened because it was a God thing. God made this happen. You can fact check this. Go to my other channel right before I met him actually, which is way back February of last year. So it's only been a little over a year and here we are. I've made a video titled Why I'm Done Dating or Why I Stopped Dating. I was in the mirror with my camcorder. I'm looking all sad and I'm like, guys, there's no good people out there anymore. And I was like, oh, here's an ad for these laundry sheets. By the way, life sucks. And I guess God wants me to be alone. I'm supposed to be just, you know, maybe I'm just supposed to be by myself forever. And maybe God designed me to run solo. I don't know. Maybe I'm one of those. Nope. This just happened. It's gonna sound weird, but again, since I have a lot of, you know, spiritually inclined followers here, I think people would understand this. God made this man appear in my life out of thin air, truly out of thin air. And it's bizarre too, because if you know anything about Miami, you know that people here are very unserious. Their forte is not dating and creating serious relationships and getting married. It is coming here to have fun and party and do whatever, you know. But the weirdest thing happened again. I was in Dallas and just for some reason, God, again, intuitively, I don't really have a story exactly, but intuitively, I kept getting this hunch that God was telling me, actually don't renew your lease in Dallas. I was living this cozy life. I was going to this Presbyterian church and where I have many story times of people not acting so Christian. And I'm sitting here like, I don't fit in. These girls are not nice to me because I don't resemble a perfect Christian because I'm funny and I dress however I want, whatever. You know, it's a journey. So anyway, the point is that I was trying to fit this mold, funny enough, in Dallas. And then God quite literally told me, you're not supposed to be here actually. I have something better planned for you and it's more custom for you. Because again, I'm from LA. I'm slightly artsy. I want to be, you know, doing stand-up comedy again and improv and whatever. So basically he kind of concocted this path where I went thinking that I'm supposed to be in Dallas and fitting this like churchy mold and finding a good man in church who goes to church every single Sunday and is loud about it and it's all over his Instagram and Psalms, whatever, you know. I was going down that path of thinking I had to find him in the church, but then I said, wait, let me just use, you know, a so-called secular app and find a man who's godly. And here we are. But anyway, he sent a message and he said, you're exactly what I've been looking for, exclamation point. I looked at the profile and I was like, this is a really handsome nerd. I wonder, does he know? And he had a photo of him and a dog, and then the other photo was like him in a Hawaiian shirt, and it was just giving dorky. But anyway, we met and we went to dinner at the Henry here in Brickell. So again, I was in Dallas. We were talking back and forth. So it was long distance for about 2 weeks at first. I came out here and I was looking for a condo to buy at first. And then I ended up renting. I was like, well, let me just try out Miami. Try it for a year. You know, I've never lived in this part of Miami. I had only lived in like suburban Miami. And I was like, all right, let me move. All right, we met to the Henry and then we talked back and forth for 2 weeks and I wasn't forcing it. I wasn't like, this needs to happen, this needs to not happen. And that's probably what kept his interest, is that I was just kind of like, It was just very easy from the start. That's the way it should be. It was very easy from the get-go. From the start, we sat down for dinner. I laid my personality all out. I was dry, I went for it. I made inappropriate jokes, he laughed. The end. Here we are now, you know? It's just easy. I really wish that I had more of an intense like Lifetime movie story time. But when God designs someone for you, it's just, it feels like a seatbelt just sliding into the buckle. It feels like, you know, a fresh baked artisan bread just coming out of the Dutch oven. It feels like butter gliding on sourdough bread. I don't know, like Texas Roadhouse cinnamon butter gliding on a dinner roll. It's just easy. You know, there was no conflict ever. Of course, we have had arguments, but I mean, there was no resistance. I didn't have to beg for his love. I didn't have to beg for the bare minimum. Certainly never again, thank goodness. I never had to really explain things, you know? I did take the time to explain, hey, from the female perspective, this is why I feel this way, just so you know, da-da-da-da, I'm on my period, this is how it feels to be on a period, you know? Or, hey, when you say this, this is how I feel. That's it. There has never been a massive argument. That's also something I was looking for. Very easy conflict resolution skills. I think we just kind of take after our parents, possibly. Whatever your parents were doing, I don't know. For me, not really. I just kind of don't argue with men. I'm just like, are you okay? Like, if a man acts crazy with me, I just look at him and I'm like, do you need to take 5 minutes or something like that? Like, I don't know. I don't argue with people like that. But very good, just calm. Don't start yelling up in here. Don't try to get buck with me, you know. Nothing is worse than just someone who's quick to anger. It's very unattractive. But again, this is hard. I'm aware that it's hard. Again, I got the last chapter out of so good luck. Peace and blessings to you. I hope you find what you're looking for. But the biggest thing I was looking for, again, was just someone who is a problem solver, logical, compassionate, kind, and kind in general to women, not just when they find them attractive. But man, does it feel good to get married before 30. This is great. I'm so glad. Everything went to plan. Even though I started to worry, I was like, ooh, I'm getting close to the big 30. And I'm sorry, that's just the truth. I know some people are gonna be like, wow, that's not, oh my God, it's not a race. It is, actually. Did you know you have 30 minutes? Did you know you have 30 minutes? Like, it gets harder and harder to find people because there's not a lot of good available people out there for everyone who's looking. So every day is a celebration for me. The best part of my morning routine is just slipping this on. I'm just like, I feel like Mr. Incredible, just suiting up over here. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. I love it so much. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.